There's a big one just there. Holy moly, that's big. Right up on that wash on the Spike 44. That's the deep runner, so just jamming into the rocks. You can see as I'm fishing it, it's a real slow retrieve. Kind of really careful with the rod tip. So as you feel the rock or the kelp, you just slow down and kind of lift your rod tip. That's the deep diving spike again, the EXDR. So there's an MR and an EXDR. This one will go down to probably a maximum of about 12 feet. And the MR is about half that, 6 feet. So using the deep one today on the washes. Working not too bad.
Every sunrise is a promise. It's a celebration of what's to come. Memories waiting to be made. And adventures to be had. Each new day is an open invitation to live beautifully. Make every day more beautiful with Maui Jim.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 38 of ABT Lockdown Live. Not Lockdown Live, how long ago was that?
Oh, I'm going to take the lead on this one. 5 words into it, gets it wrong.
So let me talk first. Don't let me talk.
Oh, you can still talk, keep going. Nicole Smith, the tournament director who puts together all this stuff behind the scenes. I just grab the mic and do all the glory stuff up the front, but you do all the stuff at the back end, and we know why now. Because we haven't been in lockdown for about 3 years.
Oh yeah, let's stick to our
Remember those good old days? Government gave us all this money.
We got to stay at home.
Got to stay at home. It was like a big holiday. I'm ready for COVID version 2 actually. Probably towards the end of winter maybe. Maybe a bit after the after show, a couple of weeks off after that busy time of our lives would be pretty good.
It's getting close to Barra season.
A great rest before Barra tour. Welcome to ABT Live, number 38. Just think 38 times we've done this now at various locations from my study at home. You've done it at your home a few times. Mm-hmm. And of course we've sort of retired now to the ABT studio, which is in Logan Home in Queensland. We have competitions where we want to know where you're watching from, and I know that people on YouTube and Facebook probably already putting in the comments. Tell us where you're from. Let me go through the prize tonight. It is an atomic bag with a, no, just a bag, with one of the reel baits in it, one of their big swim baits, an atomic hat. It's got a couple of atomic hard baits in as well, a deep and a shallow driving. More Barra, dewy, big flathead targeted if you're a Bream guy. You probably still will take it and catch some bigger fish in your local estuary. But thank you to Michael Starkey, Dominic, the team at Atomic for putting those together. I'm going to add to it one of our archival ABT jerseys in whatever size you are, because I reckon between these two designs from last year and 2 years ago, we've got the size to suit you. So postcode, clever comment down below where you're watching from, and you are in the draw for that. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or Facebook watching, we're going to randomly pick between the two. Nicole, what's your selection criteria for this normally?
Just something that makes us laugh, really. We like a bit of a laugh some days.
If somebody gets you a coffee at an event, does that make any difference?
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, you don't get struck off the list for getting your coffee.
No, it doesn't lessen your chances.
And for their information, what coffee do you like?
Single shot latte, big cup.
Grande. There you go. So you learn about your tournament director here. Never hurts to look after your tournament director. You have been working pretty hard in the last few months. Take us through the 2 bass tournaments. We had our Queensland road trip in the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Series. Went to Boondooma first. What happened there? Big MJ got it done, didn't he?
It was cold, the starts. It was very cold. But yes, Matt Johnson took out that one. It was a tough bite for the anglers. A few guys struggled, but no, the Matts definitely getting the job done out there. Mick Johnson, like all the usuals at the top of the leaderboard.
No, Mick wasn't at the top of the leaderboard. He only caught big bass and he caught bugger all else. So that's the event that I think Mick might have started letting Matty Langford into the AOY race, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But also we had a Mears win from the back of the boat, and it wasn't Adam.
No, Stephen Mears, his first non-boater victory from the front. He is an awesome angler all round. It was really good to see him take out that title. Adam was there. I think it was just a special moment for the two to share as well, father
My
and son.
favourite part was when Adam said to Steve, "Oh, can I help you carry the trophy to the car?" And Steve goes, "Nah, I'm carrying this one this time, mate." So good father and son moment there. So we went from there to Somerset. Somerset was, again, it was immaculate weather, wasn't it? It was a bit cool at nights, but I'll tell you what, during the day it was flat, calm, and it really sort of slowed down those flats fish that Somerset's famous for. All the guys that went up into the timber got the job done. Matty Langford again. I've heard rumours over the years that, we just organise the tournament so Matty Langford does well. It's like, you know what Matty Langford does? He just catches fish at all the tournaments.
Yeah. And I think having that Somerset round midweek, definitely, like, we were the only ones out on the lake that week.
No, there was a jet skier. He looked pretty cold, but he was going around doing turns and he was looking cool. I think he was Instagramming himself as he was going around.
It was definitely one of the more quieter events I've seen out at Somerset.
Good time to be at Somerset midweek when it's cold. I agree. We're not fighting for bank space with ski groups.
No, it was brilliant.
And just for behind the scenes information, all you guys in the Bass Pro Series that go out fishing at Somerset, we get down to set up a weigh-in, and what happens? You find that skiers have set up under your tents.
Yeah, we're sharing the bump tubs with towels and picnic setups and all sorts going on.
So you have to kick them out.
They thank us for putting up tents for them.
Yeah, because obviously that's what it was for, to put up a tent for a cuddle of jet skis. We did a Bass Electric tournament at Lake McDonald. The guys from the Bluefin fishing team doing a great job putting those events together. We've taken delivery of the prize boat. You'll get to see that in a segment later tonight. It hasn't got all the bits and pieces on it yet, but looking like a cool boat. They're a stable platform, exactly the same boat that Bo Everly used at the Australian Open down at Grafton, the Bass Australian Open, and was like coming second in one of the mornings. So electric power didn't hurt him at all. It's a great prize boat that we're going to put together this year, put together by Troy White from Min Repairs is going to do all the wiring. So if it shorts out on the water, Troy's fault this time. But yeah, we've got a segment coming up later in the show about the Bass Electric events. Main thing to remember about Bass Electric's $20 to enter cash on the day. You only have to attend one event and you're in the grand final, and the grand final prize is a boat motor trailer package, this year with a Mercury Avator on the back. Pretty cool prize for potentially a $20 qualifying and about $150 or whatever the grand final entry fee is. So pretty good. Bream, Nicole, what's been happening in Bream? 2 events, one in New South Wales, one in Western Australia.
Yeah, so we took the setup down to Lake Macquarie. Again, absolutely beautiful weekend. Too good. That Saturday was just absolute glass out. The weather, everyone was shorts and t-shirts. It was just brilliant down there. But taking out his second title in a row, Mark Healy.
That's
Second day brought in that
5 kilos. It's like all the competitors would see Mark Healy struggling with his sack up the beach, and it's like, not again. And it was again. It was like a 3.5 kilo bag followed by 5 kilos on day 2.
And I thought, looking at all the results from the Hawkesbury as well, what Mark Healy did at the Hawkesbury and what he did at Lake Macquarie, it was nearly a template. It was a 2-point-something kilo bag on day 1, and then
3.5 on day 1,
and then day 2 that 5 kilo stonking bag.
Yep. In that event, non-boater champion, it was Lance Marsh who took over the Angler of the Year lead with that performance. He caught nearly 3 kilos for 3 fish on day 1, followed it up with only 2 fish on day 2, and he was the first angler to weigh in. And Dad said, Mr. and Mrs. Marsh were sitting under that rotunda, nervous as hell for about an hour until the final angler weighed in, and boom, I told him it was going to be enough, and it was.
That's right. Joel McKenzie he had other obligations he had to go do that weekend. His
travelling mate wasn't there.
He wasn't there. The wife came along, and we said, bring her to all the events. She is good luck.
The Mojo. Speaking of Mojo, West Australia winner, Jojo. Jojo with the Mojo. He became the 3rd ABT angler this year to win 2 events. So, Jojo, you are dominating over in the West, mate. It was a bit of a come from behind victory. I think he was in 3rd or 4th place coming into the last day. banged the biggest fish of the event in the last session, and he only fishes from a little boat, fishes with his mum. How good is it that little JJ's getting some good cover?
And Jenny goes along to all the events. It's brilliant. So yeah, he's punched his ticket through to the grand final, and we know he's super keen to head over to Port Stephens later on this year. Who else? Because we've had our 2 WA qualifying rounds now. We've got our WA qualifiers for the grand final. So we've got Jojo coming across, Alex Griesdorf, he gets his entry. Because
he came second, and because Jojo won the first event. And the way we organise it is there's another, I think there's 3 places coming from WA. So the winners of the 2 event and 1 AOY. And because WA, it's so hard for them to get east, we actually will want to take 3 anglers into that grand final. They do more than 10% of the events, but they're going to get 10% of the spots there. So if a WA angler declines, we'll just go down that AOY list until someone has got the balls to come and fish Port Stephens, and it'd be great to have 3 WA guys that are there. It can be a hard fishery. I double donutted twice there last year, and it can be hard. Those guys can catch them no matter what the conditions. I'm really excited because WA guys have done pretty well in grand finals in the past, and I think Alex has come across and done well in the past. I remember Callum Dowell did pretty well in the past coming across, so the WA guys can fish, and thank you to the WADA guys for running those 2 events for us. We couldn't fit him in the calendar to get over there, both for financial and time reasons, so they stepped up to the plate and they got it done. Just a reminder that we got the Atomic gear and an ABT shirt for the Where You're From prize, so make sure you enter that either on Facebook or YouTube. And let's get to the point of why I'm wearing this lovely Samaki shirt,
Because you love pink.
Some may call it a girl shirt. The last time I wore it fishing, I caught a giant barra at Faust, and I was like bench pressing that thing. So it's a bit of a lucky shirt for me, but I'm wearing it because this week is the Samaki Queensland Bream Open. We've got 20 boats entered at the moment, so good size field. That's $10,000 in prize money.
I've got that line up here if we want to go through it a little bit.
Bring it up while we're, let's ad-lib it as we go. So there's the starting lineup. We've got our previous champs like Jamie McEwen in there. We've got the current champ, Reece Harris, is coming all the way back up from Melbourne. He's probably about halfway up now driving to defend his title. Blake, he's a previous winner. Scott Sanderland's a previous winner there. And all of that new young Queensland talent that's coming through, the Sam Pecks, is Chris Lonnie entered there?
He is.
Yeah, and the
Harry Schofield.
Man, there's a whole new crop of young Queensland guys that are going to get in the road of me actually winning a Queensland Open one year. I've never won that title. Like, it's weird that I can't win a Queensland Open, but I can, in Sydney it's all right. I can catch him in Sydney. Can't catch him in my own main lake.
So that's our trophy here. This weekend, someone will be taking him to a new home.
Jeff.
Unless you can do it. Then he's coming back.
That's it. And hey, Jamie McEwen in the past has been Queensland and Oz Open champion. We have unique opportunities to make things like this happen. Things like we say every year, like, someone's going to win the Bream Grand Final twice. Never happened in like 24 years or something now. So you've got to be in it to win it. There's 20 guys in there that are going to want to win it. We're going to talk a little bit about it maybe after the Samaki segment, which is coming up now. But Nicole's got some pretty cool stuff planned for coverage of this event. We know you all love the live scoreboard. But let's take a bit of time out now and let's go talk to Josh from Samaki. We visited him earlier today in his massive factory down there on the Gold Coast to get his thoughts about where Samaki's headed in the Queensland Open. So we're here in Samaki's big secret Gold Coast headquarters. Josh, last time I came here, I reckon you had half the number of boxes on the shelves. You are full now, aren't you?
Oh, we're getting there, Steve. Yeah, it's each month it's slowly going up, so which is where we want to go.
And Josh Lowry, of course, one of the bosses here at Samaki. We all know Kate's the real boss. But Josh, it was great to get you out last year on the Zerrick Barra Tour. You fished with Tommy Wood, of course, and I think you taught Tommy a few things about catching barra, mate. What a great opportunity that was to learn about our iconic sport fish. 2 weeks of barra fishing.
Yeah, to be honest, it was always a dream to go up and do the tour from when I was living back down in Sydney. And finally got to do it, and I'm pretty hooked. I'm obviously, as you know, I'm booked in again to go this year. Yep. Tommy's super keen. He's just got back today actually from the States, and we're in barra mode now, so can't wait to get up there.
And you had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Gussie. What did you tell him? Because he's done pretty good ever since he left Australia back to the US, won the Bassmaster Classic. Gussie's itching to come back as well. He's just a great guy, isn't he?
Oh, Gussie was great. I think everybody in the tour kind of fell in love with him, and he's definitely the second child behind Carl. He was great to hang out with, and yeah, obviously incredible fisherman that can come over here and do so well in a short time. And this year he's had a blinder, and yeah, he's having a good year.
Now it looks like we're standing in sort of a tackle shop at the moment, but Nicole will get some cutaways of this that we can run. It is a massive long wall. It's your AFTA stand being built. Now, AFTA is the Australian Fishing Trade Association business to business show. So 2 days at AFTA, Josh is doing business with all of the tackle stores, but on the third day, it's a public day. It's going to be free to come to this year, and everyone watching this, if they're within striking distance, can come to the Gold Coast and they can see all of your new and exciting stuff from Samaki and your other brands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, obviously last year the public day was it was a pretty big success. We felt, and obviously AFTA's made it free this year, which I think we should get a bit more foot traffic through there. So this year we've got a bit larger stand. We've got a lot of new cool product coming out with all our brands we distribute. So we're pumped for it, and it's a bit messy at the moment, obviously, in this interview, but it's early stages where it'll happen very quickly from now on.
It is literally like a pop-up tackle shop. Nothing's for sale, and nothing is for sale on the public day of the show either, although I have seen Josh give away free samples at times. I don't know if you've got some stuff related for this year. Any hints for the live viewers?
Yeah, we've got a few goodies to give away this year, so especially the younger guys, so we'll definitely come along and you'll probably get something.
There you go. We are here today, though, to talk about the upcoming event this weekend, which is the Samaki Queensland Open. And it's an event you've sponsored for a number of years now. Cool event. It's run on the app. We get so many people watching the live scoreboards. And bream fishing isn't like your personal specialty. I noticed your last boat you bought was not a bream boat, and it was not even close to a barra boat. But you love supporting that ground level of fishermen, and you've got products we're going to talk about today that are suitable to the bream market.
Yeah, exactly. I chase a lot of bream back down on the Central Coast where we're based, and I'm definitely catching more. And my son's getting a bit older now, so I've been chasing a few more bream around the Gold Coast canals. Yep. So I have actually been doing a lot more of it. But yeah, no, it's we've got a lot of good product coming out for bream at the trade show, and obviously our rods are really tailored around that scene.
And I see a lot of them lying on the decks of boats. Now, one of the cool things we've got planned for the Queensland Open this weekend is Nicole has got some exciting ideas about how we can do Bassmaster style coverage for an Australian event. So I've got some volunteer anglers going to run some extra live streams. Everyone's bored of watching me live streaming. I've done nearly 100 days of live streaming now. We've got some new talent there, and we can do a mix of up to 4 people on one live stream. So I know, Josh, you like watching the scoreboards. Kate likes watching the scoreboards. This weekend you'll be able to see some of the action live on the water, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. I was fortunate enough to see a bit of a sneak peek, and I think the viewers will love it. Just a bit more interactive, and watch their favourite angler on the board. Obviously, we're Team Samaki, so but it'll be really good to watch.
Yep, and some of your anglers that you have in the field, guys like Jamie McEwen, Mark Sarek, they champion some of your products. And let me just give you a hint. You cannot get a reel out of Jamie McEwen's hand with X-Braid on it, man. He loves that stuff. He was banging on to me about it a couple of years ago, and through tackle shops now, they're all finding it's very popular. You must be seeing X-Braid sales go through the roof, mate.
Yeah, X-Braid's it's taken off very quickly. Jamie and that, obviously he's been testing it for a fair while before we actually introduced it to the market. But yeah, it's been in the market for under 2 years. But yeah, obviously, as you know, a lot of the guys on the tours, especially the bream and bass scene, have really taken a liking to it. So
and the people I see use it, they're not the guys that you look after. They're guys that have gone to their tackle store, bought it, loved it, and then they end up charging all their reels up with it.
Yeah, we do. We like Kate runs a lot of our social, but she gets all these messages like DMs and stuff that people are actually loving the line, which is good feedback for us. So we know it's a very good quality line. It's made by YGK, the largest factory in the world for premium braids, and it's their own brand. So we have all the latest technology, and probably why it's so successful, because it is the best product that they're producing out of the factory at the moment.
For the bream guys, I think that what Jamie loves is that strength per thickness. It is a really, really thin braid, and he uses something like 14 pound to crankbait on. I'd be using like 4 or 6 pound for the same job, and that's the appeal, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's just technology, right? That's back in the old day, PE1 was 10 pound. But yeah, you can literally, it almost goes too thin like now. So Jamie's fishing 14 and 16 pound for majority of his fishing, but just to have a little bit of diameter. He's probably going to get a bit older too, so he needs to tie the knots. But yeah, and they make fluorocarbon as well, so he runs straight through fluoro on a couple of his outfits, but a couple of different models he fishes is his own finesse actually behind you here. So this is a super thin braid. It's because it is so thin, they actually change the colour of different models, so you can have 4 reels or 6 reels spooled up on the deck, and then you quickly know that that's your 6 pound or that's your 0.8 or your 0.6 because it is so thin it's hard to tell when it's on the deck.
It all looks like it should be 4 pound and it all breaks, more than your rod can put strain through it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like sometimes we test a knot and you literally cut your hands and it's so thin.
The other one of your products that I see in a lot of boat decks are your rods. You've worked over the years and you've been doing the rods longer than you've been doing the line, and every time you seem to release a new range of rods, they get lighter, they get better for casting, better components on them, and the price doesn't seem to go up though. It's how rods work, isn't it? They just get better and better as the years go on.
Yeah, and we're Samaki's definitely we're forefront of technology. So anything new from any of the carbon suppliers. I mean, Toray obviously produce a lot. SK from Korea. But we really do try to be foot forward. Sometimes, some years, you don't see a huge jump in technology and there's a big price drop. So sometimes we hold back a bit. And then every now and then, every 2 or 3 years, there's a big jump in technology. And we try to be the first to the market and improve all our previous mandrels and blanks and bring them to the market.
Take us through a couple. You've got a few outfits here. Show us what you think are the most suitable rods for our bream market here. I know that C12 was a rod that I used in the Queensland Open last year. Yep. Light in the hand. Yeah,
so that's Jamie's go-to range of rods. It's the Samaki C12. He runs the SXL, which is like a 3 to 7 pound, and an SL, which is like a 4 to 8 pound, and that he pretty much fishes that for nearly all his type of fishing. So we have lots of technical rods, but he finds they're the 2 rods he can pick up and pretty much fish for everything. Down from that is our Zing Extreme, which is a very, very popular with consumers nationally. Big range, all 1 and 2 piece, from like 7 foot right up to 7'6" flat rods, like finesse sort of style. But as all Toray carbon, all Fuji componentry, and just great value. Value for money.
I noticed that the C12's distinctive with that cork handle, but these ones, that grey camo, has been a bit of a hallmark of this range for many versions now.
Yeah, it has. 2009 was our camo, and we kind of the Zing series, and it was so popular. We have Zing Extreme, which I think has been out for 8 or 9 years now, I think, and we just keep everything stays similar. The actions and tapers and slowly improve, and only time it ever changes when there's a new carbon available.
One of the ABT anglers that you support, Tommy Wood, over in the States, you fished the Barra Tour with him last year, and you must have packed him with all the information he needed to do well on the largemouth, because, man, he has taken like that, like a duck to water.
Yeah, Tommy, he's obviously catch fish in a puddle of water. He's very talented. He's gone over to live his dream. We're happy to support him and get behind him. He's turned into a great mate as well. Like doing the tour last year, we did get on really well. But yeah, he's just got back today, and he's pretty pumped on the Barra Tour, as we spoke earlier, but I think he's pretty keen to get back to the States as well.
Do you reckon Tommy's worked out there that he's got to probably spend more time working and less time fishing to facilitate that dream?
I think he has to work 7 days when he's back here so he can actually live his dream, but we'll see what he does.
One of the cool things that you did for Tommy was that his jersey he wore over in the US doing the Opens as a co-angler, is available for purchase, and you can get it off his own website. You know, when you got your own website, you sort of made it, haven't you?
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, so obviously, anybody that following Tommy along the way, or you're a fan of our brand, we'd appreciate you jumping onto tommywoodfishing.com.au. Buy a jersey. It supports him. He's keen to get back and get back to the States and to live his dream out, and it's good to see another Aussie over there, and hopefully eventually get back into the bass market circuit.
Yeah, and let's face it, Barra guys, if you want to end up one place higher in each Barra event, send Tommy to America. It worked with Carl, it's going to work with Tommy. Get rid of the high guys and you are going to place higher. So Josh, thanks for having us down here in the factory again today. Love to see how much forward you're going all the time. We're not going to show any cutaways of it, but your R&D office up there is just like a tackle junkie's dream. There are literally arms and legs all over the place in mannequins. There's lures all over the joint. There's photo studios. You got a lot going on here, mate, and you're a pretty humble guy, but I'm telling you that this guy's got a lot going on.
Yeah, no, we do. We, as I said, we're Australian. I mean, we obviously pull materials from all around the world, but we do a lot of our testing here. We have a good crew of anglers, but yeah, a lot of it's done in this office upstairs, a lot done in my swimming pool at home. And then, to bring it to the Australian market. So we just try to do things different, and we try and make everything the best to our capability and be a premium product.
Yep, you do it. You are the quiet achiever and a big achiever in the industry. One final question I've got for you is, last year, Jeff, the Queensland Open Trophy, went to Victoria. You are from New South Wales, but you live in Queensland now. What state do you want to win it?
Queensland for sure now.
And what about the Origin?
Oh, I'm on the fence still. I've definitely. I grew up on the Gold Coast. I went to New South Wales, and I was pretty heavily Knight supporter. but I think I'm back to Queensland again.
There you go. 2 Queenslands this week. Let's get it done.
We go, Josh. He's awesome guy, awesome sponsor of ABT events, and we're getting him round. He's starting to love his bream fishing just that little bit more.
Yeah, every time we ask him, he just admits it a little bit more. And look, great event, the Samaki Queensland Open. We still have some spots if you want to come and observe in the event. All the guys in the Daiwa Bream Australian Open in Sydney loved it so much. We've still got some seats available.
Bass
so.
Open, those guys, loved it hands down. So jump online, the ABT website, get on tonight. There's a form, look for the Samaki Bream Queensland Open event under that Bream tab. There's an observer nomination form. You just need to give us, obviously, your contact details. Let us know which day you want to observe on. Noting we do fish one day out of the Gold Coast. We do fish one day out of Moreton Bay. So let us know which is your preference. Might be closer for you to get to, or your day off. Let us know tonight, that way we can pass you through those details tomorrow and get you all geared up for the weekend.
And it's free fishing lessons.
Free fishing lessons, and you get to be a part of some cool coverage that we're going to do on the weekend.
Well, there you go. Tell us about that, because dangerous time when you're not actually at events, putting tents up and making all the things happen at the events. You get ideas about what's going to happen. Tell us your idea about the Queensland Open and what we're doing.
We're blaming Harry Schofield for this one.
Big H?
Yeah,
Harry. Little H.
Harry came to us the other week. So before, there was some limitations with anglers getting on board with the YouTube live streaming. You needed certain numbers of subscribers.
You needed 1,000.
Which was a little unattainable for some guys to do in a short term. But they've changed all those rules now. So you only need 50 subscribers to verify your account with YouTube. You've got to submit a bit of information and stuff. But 50 subscribers will allow you to live stream from your own personal YouTube channel, which means we can pull all those feeds from all the anglers that are live streaming out on the water and create a finished product for you to watch at home without having to scroll and search and find everyone. Pull them all together into a one-stop shop.
Yep, and look, Nicole is going to do all this back end. We have Kim in the office who takes the entries and memberships. She works on the fish verification. Nicole's working on the curated stream. Now, it's only going to happen on the Sunday. These guys will probably be live streaming on the Saturday and practicing doing. So you can watch on their YouTube channels that you're going to subscribe to help them get to 50 subscribers. But on the Sunday, we're going to put it all together and try to do the Bassmaster style coverage on 1/100th of the budget that Bassmaster does it with. So let's run through some of the anglers, and you're going to put their links down in the comments.
Yeah, we've collected all their YouTube channels. We'll put links to them both on our YouTube stream, on the Facebook stream. If you can jump onto their YouTube channels, hit that subscribe button, it's just going to make it easier for these guys to get that all working for the weekend.
How come the first time I'm begging for likes and subscribes is for someone else?
Well, they've all jumped on board. We sent a message out to all the open anglers. We said, we've got this idea, who wants to be a part of it? And these are the guys that,
these
message within 2 minutes.
Blake O'Grady, Drew Griffith, Maddie Fatafay, Chris Hogan, who won the last QTS down on the Gold Coast, and Little H, Harry Schofield, will be joining me live streaming for those couple of days. So we're going to put the links down below. If you want to help them get to 50 subs, is where we need to get them to be, to watch them in the curated live stream. And it will be a bit of a technology test.
Yeah, so we're not going to have hosts. I'm not going to sit there and commentate all morning on what the guys are doing. But it's a test into this new technology to see if we can, in fact, pull all these live streams and have a stable feed going back out for you at home to enjoy. That's just going to open up our coverage possibilities into the future.
Yep, so keep an eye out for that. Good on you, Nicole, for working out ways to give yourself more work. Congratulations. I'm not paying you anymore. You get the same amount of pay. You just do more work. Now, let's get back to the pink shirt. I found another prize while we were running that Samaki segment. I want the best roast of the pink shirt. I can handle it. Facebook or YouTube. It's G-rated, but roast me about the pink shirt. The pink Samaki shirt. I've got a prize made up from all sorts of sponsors that we haven't got at ABT anymore. This is an Evinrude bag in here. I've got a Lowrance hat in there. I've got loos. I've got all sorts of stuff that I can't use for any other sort of stuff. So if you roast me good enough and I laugh at it, there's a prize that's going to come out to you. And before we talk about the next thing as well, I want a quick plug for our tournament boat store, ABT store, tournamentboats.com.au. We sell the buck and bass stuff. We've just got in the shorts now. I'm going to open these ones up. These are like expensive shorts. You're paying about as much as you're paying for like a designer set of shorts. But as a pair of fishing shorts, I've been wearing them for a few events now, and they're unreal. They're a little bit stretchy. They're short. They've got zip-up pockets, so you put the mobile phone in, it's not going to disappear. It's like a stretchy material. Like it's got tissue paper in there, so it's making a funny noise. It doesn't crinkle on your body as you go. Very easy to wash, easy to dry. Am I a good retail salesman of shorts or not?
I'm just thinking, you got your pink shirt on, you're talking fashion, it's all happening here tonight on ABT Live.
Watch out, Derek Zoolander, eh? At least I can turn left. But yeah, they're in the ABT store. Look, if you want a pair of decent shorts, like my judge of what a good piece of fishing clothing is when you get up to go fishing and you go to grab a pair of shorts or a shirt or a hat, which is your favourite, which is the most comfortable to wear, and which one are you grabbing for first? And I find that just automatically these are the ones I'm grabbing for now. Like my old shorts, no zippers on the pockets. They feel a bit baggy, my old shorts, the old board shorts or the old Mercury shorts I used to wear, and yeah, I find I like them. So if you want to try them, if you want to check them out in the event, let us know. We can bring some pairs down and you can have a look, try them on.
2 colours pretty much will go with anything that's in your wardrobe too, which is really cool.
And one more thing I just remembered, when I was going through subscribing to all our anglers channels before, Matty Fatterfay's channel, make sure you subscribe to that because there's an epic video there of big Matty Fatterfay just running through on the football field, giving these guys
Back
that
in
don't
the day.
argue. Yeah, 6 guys all on his back, running through, scoring try after try. It's worth watching, I reckon. I love watching that. Big Matty, I'm never going to argue with you. We know you play poker and you're a great liar, but you're also a pretty hard man to bring down in a tackle too. So anything you want, Matty, it's all yours. Get onto his channel and check it out. We're going to post them in the comments when we do the next section.
Oh, some of the burns are coming through.
Oh, don't worry. You've been sitting on these burns for ages. I'll read them in the next segment. But before we go there, you've got the graphics set up for... Stop reading the burns. You've got the graphics for the AOY where we're at the moment. So where are we going to start with, Nicole? And give us some commentary.
Why don't we just start here with the Bass Electrics? They haven't had a round since our last show for ABT. We've spoken, touched on a little bit. Their next event is going to be at Hinz Dam in August, but they're the current rankings. Harry Hardman leading that one. Tyson Everly, Bo Everly, the brothers coming in 2nd and 3rd. So
Isn't the Everly Brothers a music group from the old days?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
As before my time.
Yeah, sure. Most things are.
So that's the electric rankings. To note with the Bass Electric guys, their grand final does count towards their AOY rankings.
So you can't stitch it up before the grand final?
So you can't, so it'll be Hinz, and then we have to wait to see what happens at Wyaralong before we can declare a winner well and truly. Jumping over to the Bass Pro.
No surprise there, is it? Look who's leading AOY again.
Heath Kimber sitting at the top there. So this is after our double header in Queensland. A couple little movers and shakers. Mal Draper came up for that one. Nick Brown made the trek up from Victoria.
The guys that are doing the miles obviously are up the top. It's after this event you're going to be able to start dropping some events. I think it's the best 4 out of 6. So just because you're leading now doesn't mean you're going to be leading in a couple of events. If you've had a couple of high performers that have had a couple of shockers, they can replace those with great performances in our next Bass Road trip down to New South Wales.
Yeah.
So that's the non-voter for the Bass.
And noting on those, like Paul Mazzaroli slipped there into 10th place. That was the first time we'd seen Paul. He wasn't able to do the Vic events.
Yeah,
but
so 2 events.
He had a win at Somerset. So
Yep.
that's jumped him up into 10th place. And I think he's keen to get out to the New South Wales doubleheader. So
Yeah.
definitely some more moving.
And guys like Tim Jones, they've only done 2 events in Victoria. So Maz, Tim Jones, they're both hovering with 2 good events, just waiting to put another couple in the bag. And I'm pretty sure we'll see Tim at those Hunter River events because he lives down there. So and
Yeah.
Maz, he lives only a couple of hours away.
Yes, I think the non-boater side definitely has a lot of potential for some moving. But looking at the boaters, he's starting to run away with it again this year.
Nah, he can be caught.
Maddie Langford, some great top 5 finishes across the season so far, so sitting at the top of the leaderboard there. Mick Johnson, so going into Somerset.
Mick was leading.
There was 2 points.
Oh, yeah.
It
Before the Queensland road trip, Matt.
No, before Somerset there were 2 points.
Oh, still.
Because we did a bit of a recap. We were halfway through the
Yeah.
season at the end of Boondooma, 2 points between them. But then Mick Johnson, he had a bit of a shocker.
He didn't have a shocker. He still did all right. He caught Big Bass in one of those events. But again, he can drop a couple of those events that he hasn't performed that well in. And Matty needs some pretty high places to upgrade. So still some life in that one. And guys like Braden Shue maybe starting to drop out of a little bit. But the question is, will someone top Matty Langford this year?
Well, we're going sitting in 4th there, Graham Ford. That Hunter region It's Graham's backyard.
Oh, yeah, but 40 doesn't like rivers at all.
He doesn't, but we're going to St. Clair.
Could be dangerous.
So that's the Bass, where we're sitting out with Bass, with 2 events still to go in the season. Bream, if we head over. So with Bream, we're noting that the WA guys, sitting at the top of the leaderboard there, Michael Samet and Bill Bland, they've both been doing the miles, getting the points for doing that.
They've done 5 events each.
They have both. They're the only 2 anglers out of the Bream non-boaters that have done 5 events for the season.
So yeah, wait till the rest of the field catches up with their 5 events. We'll get a truer picture of where we're sitting come the end of the year. So
yeah, so our next one at Gladstone coming up for the Bream there. I know Tucker's entered into that one. Lance has entered into that one.
1 point between them.
1 point between them. And then obviously the Gold Coast will seal that deal for the non-boaters. Moving across to our Bream boaters. Give me 30 seconds.
Look at that, some familiar names up the top there.
Yeah, sitting at the top there are Chris Hicks and Mark Healy. I don't know that we'll see either of those guys doing the big trip up to Gladstone, but I think they're both got their eye on the Gold Coast.
Chris said he was 50% Gold Coast. Mark Healy said he was going to go, which means he's probably 50% as well. So
and then that dark horse sort of jumped up now. We've seen Jamie McEwen slip into 3rd, and we know he's a gun on the Gold Coast.
He's not too bad at Gladstone either.
And he's definitely coming up to Gladstone as well. So yeah, I think in the Bream boaters, both boaters, non-boaters,
it's open.
It's open. 2 events still to go in the season for Bream and Bass, and it's anyone's game.
And let's just explain to all the viewers that don't know what Angler of the Year win. It's like, if you win Angler of the Year, get ready to get absolutely nothing except for a trophy. I'm just mentally preparing you for it. If you win Angler of the Year,
it's a great trophy.
A great trophy. It's a great honour. But it doesn't come with the cash, prizes, entries, anything. So that's, we've been like that for a few years now. We figure if you've won Angler of the Year, you've probably won a fair bit during the year anyway. So, we try to distribute the prizes pretty evenly amongst people that do well, and that's one way we do it. So you're fishing for the trophy. It's not Jeff. It's
I think we'll point out though too, looking at our non-boaters, you'll see here in 2nd place, Bill Bland has got a little R in brackets next to his name. That means he's a rookie, fishing his rookie season with ABT. So that's something we run in our non-boaters. When it's their first season with ABT, we've teamed up with Steve Duff of Duff Rods. He's put together a selection of 3 or so Duff rods, handcrafted for the guys. So whoever comes highest fishing their first season of ABT as a non-boater, they actually do walk away with something. Steve Duff hooks them up with a nice set of rods to continue their fishing journey.
But you can win that without being AOI. You can win the Rookie of the Year without being the Angler of the Year. So happy days. So yeah, still, if you win AOI, don't expect anything, especially if you're a veteran at this sport. So Vern's coming through nice there. I've had a read of a couple there. Like, make sure you mention Samaki, and it's a Samaki shirt, men's or women's. We're going to read them in after the next segment, but let's just have a quick talk before we talk to Mick Horn about the upcoming Hinz Dam. Let's talk about the upcoming events. We talked about the Samaki Queensland Open already, but after that, we go to Gladstone. Such an awesome arena where there's always 20 or 30 species of fish caught, some of which are pikey and yellowfin bream, and we're visiting it a little bit earlier than we normally do. Normally ran it in September to coincide with the barra event there. But since no bream guys actually go barra fishing afterwards, we decided to move it back into the prime bream season. And hopefully, I think bag limits might be up a bit this year. There should be some schooling pikeys, some schooling yellowfin, and it should be a different arena, I think. For if you know how to fish Gladstone, you're thinking the same you did last time, it might be a little bit different. Fish might be in different areas.
And 2, we've actually got, for the first time, as far as I know, sponsoring in the Bream side of the business, Wilson's have come on board.
Via Duo.
Yeah, they've taken on Duo in the last 12 to 18 months.
And I haven't got the props here, but we have got the lures. For every angler in the field, we're going to give some little Duo. They're like a hybrid crankbait jerkbait. They're perfect size for up there. They've got really sticky, sharp hooks on them, and like all ABT sponsors, they want the competitors to be using the product. So we'll be running some promotions and giving free Duo baits out. And they're a premium quality Japanese bait, and so we really hope we can get Dicko, one of the Wilson legends there, who's normally catching barra. We want him to come bream fishing for the weekend. I'll see if we can talk one of them into it.
We're working on it.
Yeah, it's not looking promising, is it?
They're not that excited.
No, they're excited about the lures, not about fishing for the bream. After that, we have the after show. If you don't know, Nicole Smith runs the after show. It's a business-to-business show where for 2 days, tackle stores and wholesalers do business and cut deals and get their Christmas stuff ready. But a bit of an agitator on the afterboard got a few years ago, the public day introduced. So we have the public day, which is on the Saturday. Big news about this year, free to enter. It used to be $10 to get enter to come and have a look. Not a buying show, but you can come and look at all this awesome stuff. And Nicole explained how the public day works.
Yeah, so special thanks to the Queensland government came on board this year. They said,
Sponoed everyone.
Yeah, love the idea of the public, love getting people excited about fishing, so let's cover all the costs and make it free for anyone who wants to come along. So shout out to Dallas and the team over at
They didn't make the
Fisheries.
car park free. Still cost you like $15 to park your
But
car.
to walk through the door of the trade show
It's free.
is free. So bring the family, bring the kids, exhibitors. Even when it was a charge ticket, you were walking out with more value than the pricey ticket. So exhibitors are keen. They've got samples galore to give away. There's activities for the kids.
Meet your favourite social media people.
Yep, heaps of big names. They'll all start getting released over the next few weeks. There's a fishing stage with forums and panels, and you can ask experts questions, and it's just a day that's all about rec fishing in Australia.
I have a quick question about the public day. Did Wayne O. Smith end up buying a stand for his Enforcer products, his car wash?
No.
Didn't buy a stand because there was a lot of talk about Jamie and Mark Sarek picking the promo girls.
But Wayne, if you're watching, I have one stand left.
There's one stand left, Wayne O. You can still bring the Enforcer promo girls to the trade show. Get on the phone tomorrow morning. And
Hold on, and promo girls.
Yeah, you can help them choose them. Promo girls. Well, not Mark and Jamie dressed up in a bikini, proper ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not. No one wants to see Jamie in a bikini. Actually, we've got photos of Jamie in a bikini.
We do have photos of Jamie in a bikini.
It's not pretty to watch. After the after show, the week after the after show, is the Rapala Bream round on the Gold Coast. And Rapala are announcing some product at that trade show, which everyone's going to get samples of at that Gold Coast event. And it's going to be a pivotal event, last one of the year. That 30-boat grand final field will be decided after that qualifier. And it's at a great time of the year for the Gold Coast. So if you were thinking about bringing the family up for a holiday, go do a few theme parks, catch a few bream, qualify for that grand final, get some cool Rapala stuff. Looking forward to that one.
And who doesn't want to come to the Gold Coast in winter? Like, where else would you want to be?
Yeah, even the kayakers come up in winter time, and I think they're on the Gold Coast at some stage in the next month or so as well. And of course, finally on the calendar moving forward for that next month and a half, the Hinz Dam Bass Electric, and that's a great segue into the next segment that we've got, because right in this very building where ABT inhabits, Rapala's at the back, and the social media legend, fishing legend, Mick Horn. We pinned him down today to get some tips in case it's your first time fishing Hinz and you want to come and qualify instantly for that Hinz Grand Final. Let's go to Mick and pick his brain.
Field trip today, we've gone about 10 metres from the studio outside to see the new Bass Electric alloy craft boat. Come and have a look. It's the P395 and it's the prize for the Mercury Avator Bass Electric series this year. We haven't got it fitted out yet, but before we give it away, it's going to have a Mercury Avator on the back. It's going to have an electric motor on the front. It's going to have sounders on the inside. It is going to be turnkey, ready to fish the Bass Electric series. Now, there's one qualifier left. It's at Hinz Dam, and in the ABT Fishing Monthly building, we have a Hinz Dam specialist here. Let's go and see Mick Horn to help you get on the water and catch some fish at Hinz. You only have to qualify by fishing one event, and that's going to be the one if you haven't qualified yet. Let's go see Mick. So we found him here. He works out the back of the building. Mick Horn, just give the guys a bit of an outline what you do at Rapala here.
I do a bit of brand managing, so I look after 13 Fishing. Also, I do a bit of the content creating and go and doing a lot of product development. So any new product that we get in, I'm lucky enough to get out on the water and go and test the product, and if we need to make changes or do something, that's sort of part of the role I do. Plus I do a little bit of product development in some of our cheaper branded stuff, so your Silstar and Storm stuff. So I do a lot of the rod development for that. We've got a new range of them coming out this year at AFTER, so yeah, that's pretty much my role here.
Sounds like going fishing and saying that's good, that's shit.
Pretty much. It's definitely an awesome gig, like being able to get out on the water and go and test new products and have sort of some kind of involvement in it. It's a pretty cool thing.
Now, one of the things we talked about the other day is the fact that some of the products you get to test are down on Hinz Dam. It's your local, and we were talking the other day, and you go, you know what, I want to qualify for that Bass Electric Grand Final. You can do it by just fishing one event. We've talked about how you just need to fish one event to get into that Grand Final. And mate, Hinz is the one for you. And I thought, well, since you're going to go, I want you to give everyone a bit of a heads up that may not have been to Hinz about some of the baits and some of the techniques, especially that are going to work in that joint. Now, first thing I think we need to explain about Hinz: electric motors only, and can you leave your motors on the back, your petrol motors?
You can, and that's sort of a bit of a question that gets asked a lot regularly. The biggest thing is you have to disconnect your fuel line, and your outboard needs to be out of the water. So it's purely just an electric only dam. So obviously combustion engines not allowed to be used on it. Unplug the fuel line and lift your motor out of the water, and you should be good to go.
So if you've got a bigger bass boat, you want to do it on electric, there are plenty of bass close to the start line. Now, there are two places you can put a boat in Hinz: the western ramp and the eastern ramp. And we've got a bit of a flyover happening here at the moment, but that eastern ramp is where it happens for us. How far is it from Nerang? It's not too far from Nerang on the Gold Coast.
No, it's probably about 15 minutes, probably 10 minutes off the highway at Mudgery Bar out to the eastern ramp. Both ramps are, if you wanted to go to both ramps, but the comp's actually on the eastern side, but they're only sort of both 10-15 minutes from Nerang itself. So.
And they're a good fish for both ramps, but particularly Eastern Ramp. You can catch great fish with inside of the ramp. In fact, I remember at the Bass Electric Australian Open last year, you caught your only fish basically off the boat ramp.
Yeah, I did. It's one of those things. It's funny. When you leave the ramp early in the morning, just having recreational fishing, you drive across a lot of fish right on that ramp, and on the way back, I come back and I've obviously put the live down, and I could just see heaps of fish sitting there. So I sat there and jigged up my only legal fish I caught for that tournament, which was quite frustrating because I know that dam's so good. But anyway, that's fishing.
Let's talk about some of the techniques that are going to work there. I want you to take us through your standard day at Hinz, remembering that the lake has only come up to its new level, maybe less than 10 years ago. It rose from, it probably went up 7 or 8 metres, I think, in its old level.
Raised the wall 10 metres, so that's why you got a lot of that flooded timber now. Going back to the early days, it was basically just big open grass banks with weed beds, and you used to catch lots of fish trolling or casting the edge of the weed, but now there's so much structure in that dam. There's so many different techniques you can do. So it's probably one of those dams that you could take a tackle box of a lot of different things and start from the top of the water right down through the water column throughout the day. So
take us through your standard day, mate. What would you have tied on, and how and where would you fish it?
Especially starting early in the morning. Hinz has always been renowned as a good edge bite. Obviously, a lot of the bonies are going in the dim. It's sort of fizzled out a little bit, but I always throw top water first, and we've got a couple of new top water baits, and especially the new one, our precision pencil. That's one thing that I've got a fair few good fish lately on. I get right in amongst the timber, and
don't be scared.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's the thing I think there is, getting the lure in the zone where those fish are, and that lure walks a dog really easy, and I get a lot of fish. Another one of my favourites is a skidder prop. Just a little bit noisier. It's got the prop on the back, sort of like a fizzer. Again, another one of those ones. I like some of those brighter colours.
While the shade's on the water?
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny, it's actually it's not a bad fishery through winter that you get a lot of fish on surface. You usually think of top water, you think of summertime and warmer water, but it's actually not a bad time of year through winter to chase some of those bass early in the morning on top water.
Now, most lakes I fish, when the top water bite fizzles out, I go under the surface with a jerk bait. It was always a classic at Maroon when the top water bite stopped, go to it. Does it work at Hinz?
Yes, and that was pretty much going to be my next thing was once that sort of top water bite goes off and you get a little bit of sun on the water, that's exactly what you should have a look at, is throwing jerk baits. And we've got like a couple of jerk baits that I throw up there. One of the ones is the ripstop, especially in the deep, so it gets down to a sort of about that 8 to 10 foot. And the good thing with this has got that boot tail on the back, so when you're jerking the bait, that bit of a patent thing, that boot tail stops that bait instantly. You got any of those fish that are close by or getting up the back of the jerk bait as it's ripping across, it pretty much pauses in front of their face and they've got no choice. Reaction bite, they've got to have a crack at it. Another one is the Jack Deep 7. It gets down a little bit deeper. That bright clown colour is a really good colour in Hinz. But yes, it's one of those things, a transition as the day gets warmer and you get a bit more sun on the water. Those two techniques, especially in amongst the trees, you pretty much got to get in amongst that nasty stuff for that type of bite.
Now, when it when the sun gets up higher and that bite slows down, it's always, you've always told me get outside the tree line because that's the right depth for the big girls to school.
Yeah.
Tell us how that works.
Yeah, and it's sort of like once you get on the water, if you go for a pre-fish, get out there, and once you've done that early morning bite, get out and find pretty much where the fish are sitting. Like you'll have a thermocline in the water or an area where you'll start seeing a lot of the bait sitting and sort of. I fished it a couple of weeks ago. The fish were all sitting around that 8 metre mark. So you basically start choosing lures that are going to suit that area. We've got some deep diving crankbaits like your DT20s and stuff like that. You can, obviously long line them or, just obviously cast them a long distance and get them down around that sort of depth. But probably my favourite way to target those fish out on the tree line is throwing spoons. Yep. And we've got a couple of really good spoons for it. We've got a 40-gram rocker. We've also got your sort of 30-gram koikas, and bit of a secret thing with Hinz is they don't mind eating like big bait. So we've got these Navu spoons. They're like a pretty decent sized spoon. There's a couple of different sizes in them, but because Hinz has got all those bonies in there now, they don't mind eating a big bait, and these things stay in front of their face a lot longer. They take a little bit longer to get down in the water column, but they have a really good waft in front of their face. And even on a slow roll, they sort of S on the way up, and then you just let them back, and they just flutter down in front of their face. And you do get some better quality bites on that. So, as you said, definitely moving out, finding where they are in that water column, and hugging that tree line. I find a lot of the fish, but some of those better quality fish, you get them really tight to the timber on the tree line. The worst thing is you're going to lose a bit of tackle, but if you're in a tournament situation or you're catching really big fish, sometimes it doesn't hurt to lose a few lures to catch some big fish.
You got to risk it to get the bite, don't you? Worry about getting them out after you hook them.
Yeah, 100%. And Hinz is sort of the last sort of 5 or 6 years that we've been going in there. We've caught some really good fish in there. There's some really good fish in Hinz. At the moment, we've been catching a lot of school fish and going through a lot of smaller fish, but big baits like that Navu spoon or getting the right technique, you'll start picking up some of those better quality fish. So
anyone going to the Bass Electric, the final round of the Mercury Avator Bass Electric Series, you're going to see Mick there. You're going to be trying to qualify for that. I think you just got to turn up.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm looking forward to it. I like getting back and fishing Hinz. It's a really nice dam. If you've never been there before, it's one of the prettiest dams we've got. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to go and having a crack back out at Wyalong in the grand final, because that joint's similar to Hinz. The fish in there, they go next level. They don't muck around when they hit a lure, and they fight real good. So
looking forward to that. The 2 remaining events in that Mercury Avator Bass Electric Series. Hinz, it's a little bit after the after show, isn't it? The week after the after show.
Yeah, I think we've got the Rapala Bream is on the Gold Coast the weekend after, and I'm looking forward to that because I've sort of come back and done a little bit of bream fishing the last couple of years. But yeah, I think it's the following weekend after that on the Sunday. So I'll be packing up me big boat and getting me little electric boat ready for the Hinz round.
Yeah, that's it. Remember, $20 entry fee. Just rock up on the morning to that eastern ramp. You can pay your entry fee. If you've never fished a Bass Electric event before, you don't have to buy a membership for your first one. We shout you the first one, and if you like it, pay your membership and keep going. You'll have to pay your membership though if you want to fish that grand final, because it's the Great Boat Prize up for sale. Mick, thanks for your tips. You probably have 30 boats following you at Hinz now. What's your form been like in Bass Electrics on Hinz?
Been terrible, actually. My form's been terrible there, actually.
Great on social.
Yeah, 100%. And it's been funny. You work the place out and you go there, and even pre-fish, like I think it was before the Open, had a cracking pre-fish day. Yep. Turned up the next day and my fish had disappeared.
Yeah, that's it. So watch out. Maybe it's not a good idea to follow Mick Horn. Do your own thing on Hinz. We're going to see you down there a couple of weeks after the after show. Back. You love reading the burns about me, don't you?
I was having giggles, yeah.
Let's read through a few of them, and I've got one point to clear with Mearsy. Adam Mears. I'm not a Bream guy. I wore this event in a Barra event. Didn't win it, but I've got that. That's my Barra trophy. And I went and I got my Bass trophy as well. So there you go, mate. I'm not a Bream guy, even though I dress like a Bream guy, all right? Now, most of these burns are true. I like them.
Well, I'm liking the ones coming through about the special bit of facial hair you had going on this
Oh,
morning.
I had
so
a goatee this morning, but I didn't have it this afternoon. Yes, good. Michael Samet picked that up, didn't he? But
There's a few, yeah.
nice shirt. Did a boyfriend buy it for you? Thanks, Nathan.
Samaki colours are great, just not on you. Love it, Bridget.
Can I get matching pink shorts to match the pink shirt? Very pretty. And someone asked what brand they are. Buck and Bass, of course, on the Tournament Boats website. So.
Jamie wants to know, are you going fishing or a night out on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. But Kane Waller wants, he says that you want your shirt back, mate. Well, Nicole's already got one of these shirts, so she can't have two. That'd be greedy.
And this one made me laugh. Nick Russell, the Samaki shirt looks good, so shout out, good design. But
Nick's a good bloke.
the model looks a bit rough and he's already had 6 schooners.
Oh, nearly prize worthy, that one. And give us one more. I think the pink is bringing out the best in Steve's eyes. Just need a bit of eyeliner.
Oh.
Great, I'll be poking that right in my. Imagine Morgo's makeup tutorials.
Even longer in hair and makeup.
There you go. Who was the one that already had 6 schooners? Nick Russell. Message us your details to our Facebook, Australian Bass Tournaments Facebook message. Just slide into our DMs. Is that what you say nowadays?
You don't want to be seeing that with your pink shirt on.
Slide into the DMs and we'll. I'll get this bag of rubbish to you for the burns. Last thing we've got to mention tonight, Nicole, is the Avator. We launched the Avator forms during the week. So much excitement this year. It's like, who's going to win Team of the Year? Is it going to be a good year? It is going to be a good year because none of the dams are really run over. It's going to be epic. And El Nino's coming back, so it's going to be hot. Barra going to be chomping. Which Americans are coming across? Gussie likes itching to come. Carl's itching to come. They've got to get tick-offs from their missus, I think. That's what I think. And so many exciting things. Entry forms are out now.
Mm-hmm.
Enter now, enter the week before, it doesn't matter. They get random drawn, the start orders on the day. Apart from us, we start last. We want to give everyone a bit of a head start.
Yes,
that's
that's
what
what
we
it is. It's all happening again this year. Camp Kanga, get in. I'd give them a call, lock away your accommodation. They're filling up fast. We've got Thomas at Camp Kanga doing the catering packages for us. So if you're keen to not have to worry about your breakfast, lunch or dinners while we're fishing the Faust rounds, Thomas does a great job. Lots of varieties. Cooking's awesome. We've got party night plans.
What's the theme this year?
Superheroes.
So wear your undies on the outside of your pants and you're straight into the superhero night where ABT shouts all the grog.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed week. A couple of weeks on the road. All Barra, all week.
You're already actually counting down. When we launched it, you said it was 118 days till Barra.
110 days.
110.
So it must be up to 105 or 4 by now.
Nicole counts down for it. Good on you. It's a good reward. You get to fish at the end of the year after watching everyone else fish during the year. Thank you very much for ABT Live 38. It's not Lockdown Live, remember? It's just ABT Live. Thank you very much to our sponsors. We've got some great events coming up. We've had some great events. We're in the thick of it this year. It all becomes a little bit more northern focused at the end of the year. We get all the cold weather areas, the cold and winter done in summer. Victoria, the New South Wales. I think we're in Queensland for a little bit now until those Hunter, River and St Clair rounds at the opening of bass season. So unless you got anything else to say.
And say we've popped all those links down in the comments below for the guys that have their YouTube channel set up this week to try and do some live streaming on the weekend.
Oh, and where are you from?
Yeah, jump onto their YouTube links, subscribe to their channels, help them get to crack that 50 subscribers mark so we can live stream where all systems go for Sunday.
And Steedle Seeds, Steedal Seedz in Brassel. You've won the Where Are You From comp. Get a message to us with your shirt size and I'll drop an ABT shirt in with the Frogley's Offshore pack. And that's all our prizes done for the night. I'm going to leave now. You can do the show closer.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. We will see you on the water from the Gold Coast and from Moreton Bay for the 2023 Samaki Bream Queensland Open this weekend. We'll see you at After Trade Show. So much happening. Take care. We'll see you on the water.